Have you ever really thought about what it takes to keep a whole room full of little kids safe? I mean, really safe. It's so much more than just watching them. Turns out, there's a rigorous professional system for it, and it's called active supervision. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain and unpack that exact playbook.
You know, a room with a bunch of toddlers is basically a whirlwind of beautiful, chaotic motion and a ton of potential risks. So, how do the pros manage that? What's the real difference between just kind of watching kids and a professional system that's built for maximum safety? That's the big question we're diving into.
All right, Section 1, the constant challenge. And the answer to that question we just asked. It's all about a disciplined, professional protocol. It's a system designed from the ground up to handle the constant, non-stop challenge of making sure every single child is safe every single moment of the day.
So here it is, the official definition: active supervision. The key word there is active. This isn't a passive, sit-in-a-chair kind of thing. It's a state of continuous, focused awareness. It means you always know who every child is, exactly where they are, and what they're up to, all the time. Now, this whole approach is built on a few non-negotiable principles. First off, it is a constant, deliberate effort. Your awareness has to cover the entire space, always. And maybe the most important rule of all, you never, ever leave children alone. Not for a second. If you have to step away, you get someone to cover for you first. There are absolutely no exceptions to that rule. Okay, Section 2, the 3 T's. So, how do professionals make this constant state of awareness actually manageable? Well, they use a really simple but powerful framework. Let's get into the 3 T's that make up the foundation of active supervision. The framework is pretty straightforward. The first T is track. You are constantly tracking the location of every single child. If you lose sight of someone, you act right away. The second T is tone. Your voice, your presence, it all sets a warm and calm tone for the room. And the third T is teach. You use every little interaction as a chance to teach, to reinforce a rule, or just to engage with the kids. But here's the real kicker. This is what makes it a professional skill. These are not separate steps you do one after the other. A caregiver is tracking every child, setting the tone for the room, and teaching, all at the exact same time. It's this continuous, multitasking flow that blends safety and positive engagement into one seamless action. So, Section 3, counting faces, not heads. Let's dig a little deeper into that first T, the tracking part, because it's way more than just a simple count. It's really about verification. And this leads us to a super important distinction in the professional playbook. So on the left, you've got a head count. That just gives you a number. You count and you say, yep, 10 kids. But the professional standard, on the right, is a name-to-face count. This is totally different. You're actually looking at each child's face and checking them off a list, by name. This confirms who is there, making sure it's your 10 kids, not 9 of yours and 1 who wandered in from next door. And how often does this high-level check happen? Every 15 minutes. Just let that sink in for a second. 4 times an hour, every hour, a caregiver is performing a detailed name-to-face check to confirm every single child is present and accounted for. That right there shows you how rigorous this system is.
And these counts aren't random. They're required at all the highest risk moments. When you first get to the classroom, before and after every single transition, like going from playtime to snack time, and every time the group moves through a doorway or even just around a corner. It's a safety net that's woven right into the daily routine.
All right, Section 4, a 360-degree view. So beyond just counting, active supervision is also about physical positioning and scanning. Where you stand and where you look is just as critical as what you're doing. Look at this number, 30 seconds. That's how often a full scan of the environment is required. That means a caregiver's head is on a constant 30-second swivel, taking in the entire room, the entire playground, to spot any potential issue before it even becomes a problem. And where they stand is completely strategic. Caregivers are trained to keep their backs to a wall to get the widest possible view. They're always moving to get rid of blind spots. And you'll never see them huddled together chatting. They spread out, creating overlapping fields of vision that guarantee 360-degree coverage. So you've got this system of tracking, constant name-to-face counts, and strategic positioning. It sounds great in a classroom, right? But how does it all hold up in the most dynamic, unpredictable, high-risk environment of them all? Yeah, the playground. Section 5, the system in action. Let's walk through what happens on a playground.
just to see how all these pieces come together to create a seamless safety net, even when things get way more complicated.
The second they step outside, it is not a free-for-all. The playground is already divided into strategic zones, and each caregiver goes directly to their pre-assigned spot. The goal? To make sure there are zero gaps in coverage from the very first minute.
And teamwork is everything out here. You might see one teacher right in the middle of the action, pushing a swing or leading a game. But the other caregivers, they aren't just joining in the fun. Their specific job is to continuously scan their zone.
And while all this is going on, one of those scanning teachers is also doing that required 15-minute name-to-face count. See? The system doesn't stop just because the environment got bigger and louder. It adapts perfectly.
So let's just recap this amazing safety net. You've got scanning every 30 seconds for constant awareness. You've got a name-to-face count every 15 minutes to verify who is safe. And you've got continuous, strategic positioning to make sure you can see everything. When you layer them all together like this, you get a really powerful and resilient system.
Look, this isn't just some abstract theory. This is the professional gold standard for keeping kids safe. So the final question is really for you. Now that you know the difference between just watching and a true safety system, you have the knowledge to ask the right questions. Does your child's care provider use active supervision?